Hey, do you have an Amazon Echo? If so, Popcorn Finance now has an Alexa skill. All you need to do to set it up is just say, Alexa, enable Popcorn Finance. And that's it. And you can listen to this episode and all of the previous episodes directly from your Amazon Echo. So why not give it a try and let me know what you think? And as always, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hi, this is Dina from Atlanta. I'm loving your podcast. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, this is Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, where we discuss finance and about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. Appreciate you coming back and joining me for another episode. And a big thanks to Dina for sending in that call in. I really appreciate it. It's always good to hear from all of you who are actually listening to the episode. It lets me know that you're real people. So for one, that's great. It's actually very motivational to know that I'm not talking to myself. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do that, Dina. And if you want to be like Dina and be part of the show, send me a call in. There's a few ways you can do that. Just like Dina, you can use the Anchor app and you can contact me directly there. Just download that from your app store and then just search for Popcorn Finance, and really easy to send me a call. Or you can just go to popcornfinance.com, and right on the left side of the page there's a little gray button that says send a voicemail. You can do that directly from your phone. Just record it like you're making a phone call, and I'll get the message and I can put it here on the show. Or you can use your computer and use a microphone that's built into that thing. Or, just go to the show notes and have a few other ways you can send a message, because, it's always great to make you part of the podcast, because it makes it feel like we're more of a community. We're grouped together doing this thing. So it'd be great to have you all be a part of the show. And so for today's episode, I actually changed it up completely. I had another idea planned, but I actually got into a conversation with Ambus Hunter over on Twitter. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. His first name is spelled Ambus. I put out a question. It was just, do you have any financial goals for 2018? And, if so, what are they? So Ambus responded right away. And his goal that he set and actually has already met for the year, that in the next month, he's going to be starting a financial counseling certification program. He said he wanted to replace an old couch, which I completely understand. We have an old couch we've had for years now, and it's too small for me. My knees are always hurting when I'm trying to get up off of that thing, but couches are expensive. So yeah, maybe I need to add that to my list of goals for the year, because I really am not interested in spending a lot of money on a couch. So that's the second goal. And Ambus's third goal was a little bit longer term. He said by the year 2020, he wanted to have enough saved to be able to buy a new car, or at least to replace the car he has now in all cash, which I think is a great goal. So whatever you can do to eliminate loans and paying interest is a great idea. So Ambus, I wish you best of luck on those goals. I mean, it sounds like you're focused. You're going to be on it. And so because I really enjoyed talking to Ambus about his goals, I thought for today's episode, I'd do a little update, a little, catching up on the financial goals, or at least one of the financial goals that I set for myself for 2018. And this whole goals thing, it all started because at the very beginning of this year, I started a little small series called the 2018 Listener Goal Series. And in this series of episodes, I've been featuring goals of you, the listeners. So people have called in, they've left what their goals are for this year, their financial goals. And I've been putting them together, and I've been having a lot of fun listening to those. And that kind of inspired me to make some financial goals of my own. And so actually, I still have a couple of more episodes to go in that series. So it's not done yet. I've just taken a quick break from it to do a few other things, but be on the lookout for those episodes be coming out in the near future. But one of my financial goals for 2018 was to fully fund a 6-month emergency fund. And for me, this was a huge goal because I had spent so much of my adult life kind of managing and paying off debt. And so it was really difficult for me to actually save any significant amount of money. Really, most of the free cash I had was just going directly to paying off that debt. And so I always felt a little insecure, kind of like, if there was going to be an emergency, if something happened, I didn't feel comfortable being able to pay that off. It just felt like, I was going to go right back into debt because I didn't have enough cash to cover most basic emergencies. So I knew once I paid off my debt, building up an emergency fund was going to be my next big goal. So I don't know how long you've been listening to the podcast, but back in episode 12, I did like a quick episode that was spurred by a really rough day at work. It was all about, what is an emergency fund and why you should have one. And I think for me, it was like, I want to just walk out of work that day and just never come back. And so I was like, if I had some money saved up, I would just get out of this place. But, a more practical use for this emergency fund would be to cover any big situation that may come up that is unexpected. So say your car breaks down, or, your water heater breaks in your house, or You have to go to the emergency room. There are all these things that could come up that could put a big financial strain on you. So it's always a good idea to have some cash set aside and available in order to cover them. So that way you don't have to pull out a credit card and just put yourself into debt and pay interest and all that bad stuff. So when it comes to an emergency fund, I've heard a lot of different ranges on how much money you should put aside. I've heard everything from 3 months up to 12 months of your actual living expenses that you should put aside into an easily accessible savings account. So for me, I chose to kind of go at the half a year mark. So I went with 6 months. So that was my goal, to have 6 months of my living expenses set aside. And if you want a little more help on figuring out what do you include in 6 months of your living expenses, just go back and check out episode 12. I go through and outline that and give you some tips on setting that goal and working towards it. And so at this point, as of May 2018, it's about 92% funded. So I'm almost there. Figure by end of June, early July, I should have the full 6 months of living expenses set aside and be ready to move on to the next goal. So I figured after I reach that milestone, I'll hop back on here and give another update and, maybe finalize what that next goal is going to be. But yeah, so that's my goal progress. Hopefully some of you out there have started setting goals and started working towards them in 2018. If you haven't, go for it. It doesn't matter that we're already in May. You can start a new goal at any point. You don't have to wait till January to do that. So, think about it. Where do you stand right now financially? What's important to you? What do you feel you need to work on? And, find a goal, a tangible goal, something you can put a number to, and start working towards it. And, be on the lookout. I've been working on this 2018 listener goal series that I'll pick back up in a few weeks. Listen to some of those, some of the ones in the past, some of the ones to come, and maybe I'll give you some inspiration on some goal ideas for you to set for yourself. So yeah, if you set a goal, call in, let me know what that new goal is. I'd love to hear what you're working towards and give you some encouragement and some accountability to reach it. But as we wrap up here, I just want to say thanks again to Jason and Tara, who entered into the Popcorn Finance Side Hustle giveaway. They both won a copy of Side Hustle by Chris Gillibo. It's a great book to kind of help you make a plan and start working towards a real side hustle that actually makes some income. So they should both be getting those books pretty soon. I hope it leads them to starting a successful side hustle. So yeah, as always, I appreciate you listening, coming back each week. I hope you've been enjoying the show. If you have, please, I hope you subscribed, and please leave a review over on Apple Podcasts if that is where you listen. I know you can listen anywhere, but if you happen to be on an Apple device and listen through Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. It definitely helps the show grow and gain some exposure. Appreciate those new reviews I've seen come in over the past couple of weeks. And you can keep up with the podcast by following me over on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just search for Popcorn Finance and I'll be on there. So as always, I appreciate you joining me here for another bag of popcorn. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.